Well, the front clip, it was a bit of a pain, but overall not terrible bad. Lots of good parts though that we can use.
Yeah, that's true enough, but the box, however, is a different story. Not much to salvage here.
No, on the dual tanks, they make access to those bolts that hold the box of the frame almost impossible to get at.
Yeah, considering how crusty the parts truck is, can you imagine trying to get those tanks out?
No, I cannot. So I guess we're gonna bring out the death wheel. So the deconstruction of the parts truck continues. Um, the fenders are off. Again, they fought us, as we've been complaining about nonstop. And now we want to get all the chrome trim off. All we're going to use on the flare side from this fender for trim is the Ranger F-150 emblems. The rest of the trim we're taking off because it is in such good shape, and we're keeping it all together with all the clips, and either use it for a future project or we'll sell it online. But it is a real shame to waste that trim, as it does get damaged quite easily. Now, getting this F-150 Ranger off is going to be a little bit of a challenge because they've got these pins that come through the backside of the fender. There's a good chance you could break the emblem, which we don't want to do. These are very expensive. They reproduce them, but you're probably looking at between 50 to 100 US for one of those stupid little emblems. So we'll try and get it off in one piece. So we pry from the front, and then I think Ed was tapping it with a small hammer on the back as I was prying, so we don't break those pins or break the emblem. And when we're done, that's all that's left. All stripped down, and not just the outside, on the inside, any clips and brackets that we needed, we get those off as well. One of the clips for the jack handle was riveted on, so we had to drill that out. But we want to make sure when we put the new fenders on that it looks exactly like it did before. All right, we're going to try and get the emblems off without breaking them. They're not cheap to buy, so we don't want to, the two concerns that we have, we don't want to break it somewhere along the name, having it breaking between the A and the N, or we don't want to break off the metal pins in the back. So, and it's stuck on there. Like you try to pry it, and you can just tell something's going to break. So Ed's going to use a punch and a hammer from the back side and actually push on the pin while I'm trying to pry from the front side, and hopefully it works. Ooh. Okay. That was a big hit, Ed. That was a big hit. You want to straighten it out? I'll straighten it out a bit. That was a real big hit. Oh, nice. A little more control that time. All right. Last one. Can you reach it? Nice. Look at that. Intact. Now the bottom one. Good. Okay. Sweet. Intact. The secret from my side is to get as close to the pin as you can and not to pry either side of it so you don't break it. And you use this.
Yeah.
Look at you. Bring out the heavy hardware. Nonetheless, pin can be used. We'll buff it up, shine it up again. We've already taken the whole diameter from the other fender as 3/16, I believe. And so now we'll put that in a bag with these emblems. So when we go to drill out the new holes on the new fenders, we'll know exactly what size of drill bit to use. And then Ed is going to make a template, so we know exactly where to put the holes. He'll use a reference point, one of the body lines, and then he'll make a template. And we'll show you that. We'll bring one of the new fenders in and show you how we transfer the holes over.
Okay, we've got our replacement fender here. What we're doing is making a simple template to locate the holes for the emblems so that they're both in the same position that they were on the original fenders, and it'll be the same side to side. We'll just reverse this template. So I've taken a couple of pieces of paper, I've taped them to a body line here, and I've lined up the the contour here, traced it out, and cut it on the original fender. So everything lines up. This is actually a pretty good stamping. And then we've just located the holes where the emblems mount, and we're just going to drill those and just place the emblems. Okay, we're marking the holes with our template. We're just using an automatic punch. It's just a snap punch. And we're using this instead of like an awl and a hammer or some other kind of centering punch, just so we can control the pressure we're applying to the fender so as not to deform it. I'll just make sure that the pins are where they need to be. There we go. Okay, we're getting ready to drill the holes using the marks that we put in the fender with the center punch. And it looks like our holes are lining up as they should. We can open them up to the final diameter and then put our emblems in. Okay, now we're going to peel back the template, and we're going to brush off the swarf from the drill just to protect the fender. Now we're going to test fit the emblems. We're just going to set the tips into the hole. We're not going to send it all the way home because we want to paint the fender. We want to get paint inside the holes so there's some corrosion protection on the raw steel. And here we go. Looking good. cord plugged in all the way? Is it plugged in all the way? Okay, we've got all the box bolts ground and pounded through. We're going to start lifting it off the frame. Okay, we're ready to lift the box. We've got the clamp off that fuel fill hose, and we've got the electrical harness disconnected, and all the bolts are ground off. So I think we're ready to go here.
Well, Ed, I think I've ground off enough box bolts to last me for a while. Between Shorty and the parts truck, I'm probably counting 16 of those little buggers.
Yeah, but look where it got us. All that's left of the parts truck is the cab. Speaking of which, I wonder what the floors actually look like.
You know, it's kind of kept me awake at night thinking about the floors in the cab, considering all the other rust we've encountered in the parts truck. I mean, it'll be shocking if there's no patch panels required.
You know, it's like the parts truck worked in a salt mine most of its life.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I guess next episode, all will be revealed.